I want to talk about the Trump administration and General Kellogg and what their approach might be. But before that, apart from equipment, another thing that Ukraine really needs and it doesn't have enough of are soldiers at this moment. And that's quite controversial, but I think it's still important to talk about because the West can't really do much about that, unlike with equipment, unless we want to join in, which no one really wants to. So it's up to the Ukrainians, and the US is now pushing Kiev to draft more people and to lower the mobilization age from 25 to 18. And I'd really like to hear your perspective on that debate on both the need of for men versus the equipment, but also whether we should be telling Ukraine what to do if we're not doing the fighting on one hand, but on the other hand, it's a factor that we can't ignore completely and we should probably talk about because it is hugely important and will have impact on the result of the war.
Yeah. So Ukraine definitely has a shortage of soldiers, but they don't have a shortage of people. There are a million Ukrainians of military age that women and men who could still serve without Ukraine having to lower the draft age. When I first heard about this 26 thing, I thought, what? How can that be? I mean, most armies, you are willing to bring in young women and men that are 17, 18 years old. Um, so I was surprised when I first heard about that. But as I thought about it, they have cultural reasons for doing this, and I understand that. But that's not the problem. The problem is the government has failed to earn the confidence of Ukrainian families that their son or daughter will not be wasted. It's the job of the government to demonstrate that their son or daughter, these young women and men, will not be sent to the front until they're properly trained, properly equipped, and put in a unit that is properly trained and equipped. Then their young soldier heads off to war. I think there are a lot of families in Ukraine that still believe that this is the old Soviet prison army and that their young soldier will get wasted. I mean, there are literally millions of Ukrainians that are living in Germany, Poland, and Romania that include women and men that should be back inside Ukraine. So the draft age is not the issue. It's making the necessary reforms and earning the confidence of families that I think that's how you fix their soldier problem.
Do you think that this can still be fixed 3 years into the war? And do you think that the situation is getting better or not really?
I see reports that indicate it's better in some ways, but institutionally, no, it hadn't been fixed yet. We have the British Army has, the German Army has, most armies have what we call the institutional army, which is the overhead required to generate an operational force. So, quality officers and sergeants that are needed to recruit, to train, to educate, to provide equipment, to do procurement, all of these things. That's what you have to have that in order to generate the operational battalions and brigades and the fighting force. That means you need quality officers and sergeants for that to work. And I think Ukraine is still playing catch up on building their institutional army.
If you're enjoying this podcast, chances are that you like to know what's going on in the world of geopolitics. And if that's the case, you might want to sign up to my newsletter. It's launching from January, it's completely free, and you can already sign up so that you receive the first edition. You can find the link in the description, so check it out and sign up to stay informed.